The clock is ticking in Washington. A government shutdown looms. The deadline is midnight on Friday, March 14, 2025. At the heart of the crisis is a fundamental disagreement over spending. Republicans controlling the House of Representatives have passed a stopgap spending bill. This bill would keep the government funded until September. Democrats, however, are largely opposed to this measure. They argue that it represents a political maneuver. The American people are watching and waiting. Will their elected representatives rise to the occasion and find common ground? The Republican stopgap bill is designed to provide a temporary solution to the funding impasse. It would extend government funding for several months, giving lawmakers time to negotiate a longer-term budget deal. Republicans argue that this is a common-sense approach. They say it is necessary to prevent a government shutdown. They also emphasize that their bill includes funding for key priorities, such as border security. Democrats, on the other hand, favor a continuing resolution, or CR. This would keep the government funded at current levels for a shorter period, likely until April 11th. Democrats argue that a CR would provide more time for thoughtful negotiation. They say it would avoid the pitfalls of a rushed spending bill. The Republican bill has already passed the House of Representatives, largely along party lines. However, its fate in the Senate is uncertain. The American people are caught in the middle, facing uncertainty and anxiety as the possibility of a government shutdown looms large. In the midst of this political storm, one voice has emerged from an unexpected quarter. Senator John Fetterman, a Democrat from Pennsylvania, has broken ranks with his party and expressed support for the Republican stopgap bill. Fetterman, known for his pragmatic approach to governing, argues that a government shutdown would be harmful to the American people. He believes that passing the Republican bill, even with its flaws, is the most responsible course of action. Fetterman's stance has sparked controversy within his own party. Some Democrats have criticized his willingness to side with Republicans on such a crucial issue. However, Fetterman remains undeterred. Let's not forget, President Trump's landslide victory was a clear mandate from the American people. They voted for his agenda: economic growth, stronger borders, and a government that works for them, not against them. Democrats need to respect that mandate and stop obstructing the will of the people. Republicans have seized on the Democrats' opposition to the stopgap bill, labeling it the Schumer shutdown. They point to their hypocrisy, where Democrats, particularly Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, have criticized government shutdowns as reckless and irresponsible. They argue that Democrats are now engaging in the same kind of political gamesmanship that they once condemned. Democrats, for their part, reject the Schumer shutdown label as a cynical ploy. They insist that their opposition to the Republican bill is based on principle, not politics. As the shutdown deadline approaches, the rhetoric is likely to become even more heated. The looming government shutdown is a stark reminder of the dysfunction that grips Washington. Instead of working together to address the nation's challenges, our elected officials are engaged in a bitter partisan battle. This gridlock has real consequences. It threatens to disrupt essential government services and undermine public trust in our institutions. It is time for our leaders to put aside their differences and act in the best interests of the American people. The Republican stopgap bill may not be perfect, but it is a starting point for negotiations. Democrats should come to the table willing to compromise rather than resorting to obstructionist tactics. The American people deserve better than a government shutdown. They deserve leaders who are willing to put aside their differences and work together for the common good. Let us urge our elected officials to put America first agenda and avoid this government shutdown.